Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do.
Aha! Showtime!
Don't stop believing.
Whatever it is we look forward to and whoever it is we're chasing. To that I say amen.
Street light.
Keep this thing going. Pick a name. Go on the air. Talk hard.
To that I say all right, all right, all right.
World, the headlines read of those whose hearts are filled with greed, who rob and steal from those in need. To right this wrong with blinding speed goes underdog. Speed of lightning, power of thunder, fighting all who rob or plunder. Underdog, underdog.
I really liked it. I will say I had a lot of fun with it. It goes back to the Addams small pieces that we get throughout that whole episode.
I'm sorry, Bill, but I'm leaving, and nothing you say can stop me. Do you hear me? Nothing.
Wednesday Addams. My meal of misfortune is now at Wendy's. It's pure torture, with uniquely excruciating dips of dread. Enjoy the anguish.
A family weekend. Relaxation. Quality time with the kids. Exercise. Getting in touch with nature. Joie de vivre.
When you speak French, it really drives me wild.
Oh, did we mention it's an Addams family weekend? A 2-day marathon that will blow you away.
My, that sounds attractive.
It's every single episode, back to back, so you don't want to miss a thing. The Addams Family Marathon, all weekend June 5th and 6th, only on TV Land.
If you miss the Addams Family weeknights on TBS, nerds will be very disappointed.
The Addams Family, 7:05 Eastern tonight on TBS.
All right, folks, welcome to another Friday Popcast. I hope you're doing well. This one is going to be an absolute blast. We have some folks coming in. That's right. Joker Voice is back with us. My daughter TayTay is back with us. We are going to talk about Wednesday and some other fun stuff, I'm sure. Joker, my friend, thanks for coming in and hanging out with me, brother.
Of course. It's always a pleasure talking with someone who's a fellow nerdy person like me. Not quite as crazy as I am, but you know what I mean.
Well, it depends on who you talk to, I think. And Taylor might have her own perspective of how crazy I am. She's witness to some of the insanity, and the barriers have been down for many a story. So, yeah. How you doing?
Well, I've seen you on the Roman streams, and you go crazy, my friend. So.
Oh, well, yeah. So Roman is literally like my carbon copy, Tay. So he looks kind of like me. We're almost exactly the same age. And he just went in military and stayed in, whereas it's something I almost did. And it's sort of kind of a funny little joke that we're sort of like each other's yin and yang. Well, he'll have a show. He barely knows how to run the tech. So I take advantage of his goodwill and I make demands. And then I always deliver with absurd shenanigans. So I believe.
I love that.
Some of my claims to fame was I believe I like on the ad. I did Christmas Story in the bunny costume, right? I wore the pink nightmare.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
remember you talking about that.
Christmas Vacation. I recited the Tylenol rant. Yeah, so that was a fun time.
Love that.
Most recently, I'll just say I made a splash during his birthday stream. Let's just say that he won't forget.
Yes.
He won't forget that birthday stream. So
okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, Tay has, hopefully she's gotten a hold of, one YouTuber's already reached out, said, hey, listen, if she wants to come on my show too, I'd love to do something. So I think that, she may just be a chip off the old Pop's block. We'll see. I don't know. So great to have her and great to do this. Before I get to the topic of the week, I want to ask your guys' thoughts because I'm actually a little bit of a bind. The missus has asked me, and I kind of brought it up. I said, I'm really struggling because we're recording this in mid-September, so it depends on when you guys are watching this out there, but October 10th, Tron Ares drops. Now, Joker, you're about the same age as me. Tron was a big deal for me. I don't know how you feel about the movie, but it feels like I love it more than I even should because of when it came out. Like this is like the introduction to computer nerdy stuff. It was this major CGI fest. It's this crazy film. And then of course I actually don't mind Tron Legacy. Obviously there's not much story there, but I think it's a beautiful film. Love the soundtrack and all that. I want to see Tron Ares, but I don't want to see Tron. I don't want Disney to get my money. And my wife will not. She will not let me buy a ticket and walk into something else. She will not let me do that. So that's not going to happen. So I don't know what to do because I want at least, if I'm going to watch it, I want to watch it on the big screen, see the sound, get the experience. Sure. I have such low expectations of this movie. Like literally for me, I'm going into Tron Ares expecting a 2 out of 5 film. Like, give me a 2 out of 5, but make me enjoy the visuals and the sound. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I'll start with you, Tay. What are you thinking about seeing Tron in theaters or not?
Kind of the same mindset as you, more so going just because I want to see Tron in some capacity. The vehicles, the soundtracks that normally come alongside it, that's what I go to see it for. I didn't have extreme high hopes for Legacy when I went to see it. I went to see it just because it was a revamp on the bikes and all of the stuff that we knew, and I knew the soundtrack was going to be where it ended up being for me. So I don't know how I feel about it. We'll probably go see it just because I have kids and my kids love Tron and they're going to be about it. But it's kind of where you're at. I don't have high expectations for it, but I don't feel like it would be enough of a bust for me personally, especially with the experience my kids will have to where I won't go to the theaters to see it. But we also have like other options to see it a little bit easier. Like earlier in the day, our local theater offers matinees. So I could go see it earlier in the day and not pay like as much as I would at like one of those high end theaters like AMC and things like that to see a movie like this. And that's probably what we'll end up doing.
Well, Joker, as you heard, I've done my part. I raised my kids with some Tron. They're passing it on to their grandkids. We at least enjoy the nostalgia elements of this thing. So what say you, my friend?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I saw Tron, the original, once, and I've seen nothing since then.
Okay.
So
okay.
I have no desire to see. I have no desire to see the new film. I saw it. I'm like, okay. I wasn't that impressed by it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's there.
Yeah.
So I can take it or leave it.
All right. Well, to each their own. No problem here. No hurt feelings. I was always enamored by the film, and then later in life, of course, learned like the painstaking frame by frame animation and nonsense that the studio would, and that's actually part of my disdain because I know that's how this was originally started. And now, of course, everything is such a CGI fest and the use of the volume theater that they film in and stuff like that. I just kind of feel like that's kind of what made Tron special. Because again, I'll be more than happy to admit there's not a lot of story here, guys. I get it. There's not a lot of meat on that bone. I'm not going to fool myself into thinking that. So, but anyway, I threw that out there. That was a kind of a cold conversation because I drew these folks together because I wanted to talk about the second half of Wednesday in particular. A show that I'm actually really enjoyed. Yeah, there he is. He's showing he's rocking his shirt today. Thank you for that, Joe. I really am enjoying. Not a lot of great TV these days. It kind of comes in a spurt because of the way streaming is. I actually think Netflix might be really, again, shooting themselves in the foot by getting more word of mouth and doing their drops. Like I assume people would freak out if they dropped episode by episode, but I feel like this show would have really gone gangbusters had it dropped week by week by week and created conversation because almost every episode has some cliffhanger elements and some different conversation things that people would have had. And then having this abrupt gap in the middle where we didn't, we have the first 4 episodes and we have nothing and then the last 4.
Right.
I really didn't.
Right.
TayTay and I did a little video on this, and I will say I was pretty critical of some elements. I went back and I've rewatched. I didn't watch every minute of every episode, but I watched a lot of all episodes. And I will say I was able to pick up on a lot of setups that they call back to and a lot of things they delivered on that I would have shortchanged this film. And I definitely think there's one character the Joker loves in particular that I was kind of critical of in that video where I'm like, take a roll on me. I'm all right. I see what they did here, see what they did there. So, for those of you who haven't watched it or you don't know much about it, Wednesday, and now in season 2. She's in her second year at Nevermore. The film is set with her kind of returning. This is her wonderful roommate, Enid. Of course, Thing is her little Thing is quite literally her right hand. Get it? And definitely. Pugsley is kind of growing into his own. In the beginning of the season, you see him here. He's able to basically, he kind of inherited this, and we'll find out in this season. And he is shooting his power from his fingers, his power of electricity, similar to what we see in the show from classic Fester, who made an appearance in the first half, but really kind of disappears for a minute in the second half. But he's fantastic when he's on screen. Plenty of other students, plenty of other things as the family is more present in this new semester at the school. Here's our new principal, if you will, played by Steve Buscemi. This is Grandmama, and this is how the season 2 opened. And this is, of course, Morticia and Gomez. And this is Tyler, the boyfriend from season 1. So we have a lot of different elements that are kind of played out over the course of the season. Here's a new character named Agnes. She can turn invisible. She's one of the outcasts. And there's Fester at the episode 4. So we basically have a whole lot of setups, a whole lot of things that kind of come to a head in the first half of the season. And then we have a cliffhanger where Wednesday's confronting Tyler, who is transformed into a Hyde. I don't normally like the something happens off screen thing, but they deliver by throwing her out the window. So I really like that as a cliffhanger. I thought it worked pretty well. I could not stand that they give us a teaser for the second half by having her review. I mean, obviously we know she's not going to die from such things, but it was silly to have that as a cliffhanger and then show us a teaser for the second half of the show.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I skipped the teaser.
Right, exactly.
So, Joker, you weren't with us. So, what was some of your thoughts on or analysis on the first half of this, the first 4 episodes?
Much of my same criticisms for season 1 are present in this series. Catherine Zeta-Jones, I can't stand her as Morticia. I think she lacks the charm of Carolyn Jones and Angelica Houston in that role. The minute I saw Agnes, I fell in love with her immediately. I just that slightly unhinged, I want to be your best friend, single white female kind of thing. Loved it. The show is, as Pops and I talked about the season 1, is completely carried by Jenna. She carries the entire show. It completely rests on her shoulders, and she knocks it out of the park in every scene she is in. Season 2, there's a lot more involvement with Enid, which is a natural progression. It was nice seeing. For the brief moment, Christina Ricci again, and then you get Christopher Lloyd, who played Fester in the films, coming back as a disembodied professor, which I thought was a nice touch. I do not like Steve Buscemi. I did not like his character at all. I loved the interaction, the dynamic between Jenna Ortega and Gwendolyn Christie. I thought that was just absolutely gold every time those two were on the screen together.
All right, that's all fair. Let me add a couple notes from the first half of the season, Taylor, for you to think about. Was that they did a really good job of us having a nice little Anthony Michael Hall moment. He lasts for all of 1 episode as sort of being this militant Boy Scout camp leader, basically, who has a tragic demise. But it was fun seeing him pop up as well. Yes. And as I said, I think there were some missed opportunities in the show, really more so in the first half, with different lines that don't feel very Addams Family. I think they do a good job, though, of setting some stuff up to deliver later on. I think that they have a great little moment we didn't talk about either with the Tim Burton-esque sort of stop motion backstory during this sort of like Christopher Lloyd scene. So they have Christopher Lloyd as this, like he said, he's a talking head in a jar, and they're explaining this character that will ultimately be named Isaac, but it's done in sort of like a Frankenweenie classic Tim Burton animation. It comes and goes so rapidly, it almost feels completely out of place unless you're a Burton fanatic. But in hindsight, I think that was actually a positive that I didn't give credit to in that initial video. And then the other thing is, I do think that they, and I will say this, they did deliver on some of the Pugsley and some of the other stuff that I was critical of in the first go around, including Agnes. I think they built Agnes into someone that I actually like. So, Tay, what were some of your other thoughts on the first half of season 1? Now that we have for the first half of season 2, now that we have the back half to kind of complete the story a little bit, any changes of heart or thought?
My biggest thing is that I was really having a hard time with at the very beginning of the season. And like you said, I don't like that they split it up the way that they did. I feel like that they would have had a better effect on the audience if they had either done an individual episode release, like a weekly release, or if they had just edited it a different way. I did really struggle with Morticia. I don't feel like not even just Morticia, just the Addams in general. I don't feel like that they give that full creepy effect across the board. I've already told you my take on Grandmama. I don't like it. I don't like that they changed Grandmama from the creepy, weird, normal hag that she's always been. That was a huge struggle for me. I understand why they took that stance because of the way that they play her out throughout the season, but I'm not happy with the Grandmama. And I feel like it's super strange how involved the parents are with this season. And it kind of threw me off a little bit, but a lot of the side characters I really started to enjoy a lot. Agnes gave me the creepy vibe that we were not getting from the Addams. I wish that we had gotten more of that from the family, like we're so used to. Dad and I mentioned a little bit of even like there were certain parts of Fester that we were kind of weirded out that it wasn't full Fester, like the fact that he was holding regular rubber ducks, but at the same time he was at a hotel, so I kind of understand. But it was just a lot of things that just didn't throw back to the traditional Addams that we're so used to. On the other side, though, I will say that in a lot of ways, giving me that part 2 brought a lot of stuff full circle that I didn't feel like I was going to get a full conclusion to, so I was happy with that, at least.
Yeah, I really do agree. So there is one thing I would point out to folks, and again, we're going to head into spoilers of the second half of season 2 now. So if you haven't seen it, you don't want to watch. We want to get really into the weeds here. So if you haven't seen episodes, then don't watch ahead. But in episode 4, there's a big breakout of the insane asylum, and there's chaos that's going to ensue. And there's a brief moment where Isaac escapes, and Thing is standing there. Now, I didn't even think anything about that. I didn't really even have caught that. And they deliver at the end of the season, of course, where you're like, oh, he's the right hand because he has a glove on. So you don't really even know that Isaac's missing the hand until they explain the story later on. That payoff and setup was phenomenal. That was such a good.
I also like the fact that.
No, I was just going to say that was such a good one. I didn't even see coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was really, really good. Go ahead.
I also like the fact that when Isaac, his last name is Knight, and in Thing's stuff, he's got this Knight signet ring on.
Yep.
And then they switch the letters around, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, I like it.
Yeah, the Thing backstory really delivered. That is probably one of the best. So Thing struggles from identity crimes at one point. There's a whole thing of, they forgot his birthday. And then, of course, now we have this sort of like dismembered body parts therapy group, which is so Addams Family. Like that. This is when they're hitting the home run, is when they're doing stuff like that. Yes. There's a chair with just an ear in it.
Yes.
There's just a leg. This is when they're this is when they're just at their best, right? But the Thing backstory goes full circle and delivers that the psychomaniac villain of this season is actually Thing is quite literally its right hand, and now it has to decide, does it want to be whole as a human, and be part of this psychopath that's bent on killing the Addams, or is it going to just follow this family that's taking care of it this whole time and love it as part of their family, even though they don't always treat him quite right? Yeah, Taylor, I think we talked a little bit about some of the stuff, and we were like, it's okay. But on that element in particular, I think they really did deliver.
Nailed it.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, and,
no, go ahead.
And that's because she herself is the werewolf. So the Hydes and the wolves kind of share a similar, I guess, transformation or cycle that they go through. So she kind of understands, and she knows of this place where wolves and Hydes can go and live and not have to deal with, as far as a Hyde goes, have a master to be tied to. They can kind of be their own thing.
I think she says a comment, right? There's a quick comment about my dad was a Hyde, so she has incredible amount of empathy for him. And it's like, I don't want to be your master and your mommy.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to try to help you. You'll basically have like a Hyde pack to go to. So it feels like it could just end there and we don't ever have to see this character again. Or it feels like something else that can transpire and unpack into something else in a season 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So, a lot of credit to that as well. It worked out pretty good. So it caught me off guard, and I will admit I loved it and hated it at the same time. So there's a body swap element that happens where Enid and Wednesday switch. So you basically open the episode with Jenna Ortega putting in all the bright colors and dancing as Enid.
Yes.
It is the only time. Now there are times where you can see it because obviously they're side by side with other actors, but it is by far the most glaring moment where you see what a tiny human Jenna Ortega is. It's sort of like hard to like take someone who's 5'1", like on. It's just odd, and it comes out in that shot, in those scenes, and things like that.
Being a bad girl, I know I am, and I'm so hot, I need a fan. Click, clack, bada bing, bada da da da.
It was very clear to me what they had done. I was just figuring, okay, now, and basically they're like, oh yeah, 16 hours earlier, and they're going to unpack the story how we got there. I would have, on the surface, I was sitting there kind of like not really enjoying it, but they deliver for me, and I wanted your guys' thoughts because of the friendship speech that we get at the end. They did a good job, really good job. Taylor, what do you think?
I really liked it. I will say I had a lot of fun with it. It goes back to the Addams small pieces that we get throughout that whole episode. Like her allergy to colors, the way that they did that, the extensive craziness, Enid's reaction to everything Addams, like the dinner table scenes with the food and her facial expressions the whole time. I'm like, that just shows how strong of an actress the two of them are, because not only are they portraying their characters, they're portraying their characters' reaction to being someone else's characters. And it was phenomenal. And I loved that whole episode. We were cackling the whole entire time. The facial expressions were good. Rewatching it again, I caught a lot of extra things that maybe I wouldn't have noticed before. So I feel like it leading up to that friendship connection, it also hinted at a lot of stuff that ended up happening in the last episode that we kind of brought it all back for full circle, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, Joker, you're one of the biggest Jenna Ortega cheerleaders in all of this. It had to be one of the glorious episodes for you, my friend.
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I mean, again, just to play Enid, for Jenna to play Enid was just a delight, absolute a delight. Emma playing Wednesday, I'm like, okay, that fell off a little bit in my opinion. But again, this series rests on the 5'1" frame of Miss Ortega, and she delivered that entire episode. And again, like Taylor said, where Wednesday says in season 1 she's allergic to color, we actually know that's not just a saying. She's allergic to color. She like broke out in hives, and it was just absolute wonderful. That nice little call back, and then at the end when they get the friendship speech where they actually have to acknowledge that there are things that, yes, maybe be annoying about them, but it's actually one of their core strengths and what they actually admire about the other. And I think that this plays out at the end in the final sequence at the end, which I'm sure we'll get get to, that I thought was really the saving grace of this season 2.
Yeah, the season kind of has a very normally shows will have like an A, B, C, and D plot, and this film does. I mean, the show does have several different plots and things, and it's done a really masterful job. I always liken this very much to Harry Potter. It does a great job of making you love and enjoy the journey of crazy tertiary characters and stuff like that. Now, the entire thing also parallels Harry Potter in that we're going to have a new headmaster, a new principal next time, because Steve Buscemi has con-manned him way into being the principal as an outcast. And you have this story that we kind of briefly touched on in the first video. His origin and how this all transpires. There's a quick little flashback to this character Gideon that he meets in a bar, who was a former performer and basically is transformed into this like TV evangelist type who uses the sirens to brainwash people, gain power, money, etc. And it kind of comes to a head with this whole thing. I will admit it's not that I don't ever see it coming. I don't know, Joker. I'm always pleasantly surprised of how they make the clever twists and turns to make it work. It didn't feel stupid. It didn't feel contrived. This show is taking itself serious enough, and that's what I want out of it.
I'm gonna disagree with that one. This is the one of the characters that I could not stand. Every time he was on screen, I was looking to go to the bathroom or go to the fridge to get something to drink. He was absolutely annoying. And as later on when they con Grandmama Frump and they give a Frump tower, I'm like, that's a little on the nose there. That's just it made me groan. It was very cringe.
I kind of like the mocker. I thought of him as being like this really cheesy caricature and not like, so you know what I'm saying? I think he was not irritating me because I wasn't ever supposed to like him. Like I knew from episode 1
you weren't.
There's something slimy going on here. I just never knew what it was going to be. And the last thing I expected was going to be tied back to Gideon. I just felt like there's some other shystery nonsense that he was going to tie into things. And he pulled off the smarmy and so again, there's multiple villains and multiple antagonists in this season, and he is sort of like the bait and switch antagonist. He's sort of like the show does such a great job of using him as the manufacture all of these crazy silly moments that allow for us to understand Agnes and Wednesday and Enid and some of these different dynamics. So we needed to have another little plot point.
Bianca.
Right. Yeah. Bianca has an entire story. And what I meant with delivering the clever was the fact that they use Bianca and they use Ajax. Ajax gets to be a hero for a moment. He has something to actually do because he's kind of like put on the and that they were clever with how they were like, oh no, she's going to let herself be siren. So Agnes is like in the room, and then we're going to have Ajax in this big scheme to basically siren him in front of everybody to confess. And I didn't expect any of that. That's what I meant. They surprised me with how they pulled it off because they created so much clutter for the last 2 to 3 episodes. And I'm like, how are they going to dealing with all these different things? And because he's just a smarmy, disposable guy, he's sort of evil, but never feels evil. He just feels like a carnival fake
con man.
Yeah, and I think that it works. Now, the Frump Tower and all that stuff, I actually kind of laugh because it was so over the top. Because it wasn't just a Frump Tower thing. It was also like, I don't even know where the quotes are. But if you listen to the quotes about, all of the stuff they're doing and taxidermy hotel. I mean, it was so unchained. Yes. I giggled and kind of laughed at the absurdity of it. And I guess that maybe they were wanting me to take it serious, but I'm with you that I wasn't ever taking that serious. I thought it was just absolutely a joke. Yeah. So I don't know. Tay, what do you think about the piece and how it all kind of wrapped around and stuff for you?
I had mixed feelings about Dort for a lot of reasons. So he was over the top obnoxious from start to finish. And so having that personality show up in Wednesday, I immediately got like In Addams Family Values, the camp counselor vibes, where they're over the top excessive, and we're all like, where is this going? Like, I think that tie-in for me almost added to it. Then they added Camp Jericho in the mix too. So I was like, I liked that slowly throughout the season we got those little Easter eggs from different things, different classics, and that was included in it for me. So I took Dort to that mindset. I was like, he's over the top for a reason. I don't know how he's going to circle back around to be tied into it, why he's going to be the way he is. But it's because he's an excessive con man. He's trying to cover up that personality by being over the top, the t-shirt canyons, all of that. But in a lot of ways, his excessive personality made the conversations between Gwendolyn Christie and Jenna Ortega that much more meaningful, because she was seeing her legacy of the previous,
that was the best part of it,
Dean, going downhill, and she was like, what is going on? Who is this guy? And I feel like the fact that when she said he was not on my approved list, I was like, he's got to be some kind of bad guy in some capacity, because she didn't approve for him to take over in any way. And she always talked about how her legacy with the school was going to be important. So I knew it was going to come back. I just didn't expect it to be tied in the way it was. And I think that in a lot of ways they did really good with it. My only issue, honestly, was Grandmama. I really did not like Grandmama. I don't like how she's portrayed. I don't like her, like, giving this, like, I'm the rich Addams and you need my money and I don't want to give you any time. Like, that was super strange for me. I don't necessarily think it's strange for Grandmama to be on her own. Like, okay, that's fair. She would be probably, like, cooped up somewhere, not want to be around people. For her to own a bunch of funeral homes and stuff, cool, whatever. But it was just her being as spiffy as she is. A lot of people tie it into, where did Morticia get it? That's why she's portrayed this way. But I feel like Morticia's supposed to be on her own. She's supposed to be a standalone type of character that's brought into the Addams family to make it to where she's that we can't take our eyes off Morticia. She's where our eyes go when we're looking at the Addams, not Grandmama and Morticia. And it was just, I just didn't like that part of it. But I think overall, Dort really grew on me. I feel like he was an important part of it. He kind of allowed us to get an idea of how everyone works together, like you said, bringing in Ajax and stuff as well. So I feel like that side story was really good for me.
Last thoughts on the Dort and Steve Buscemi part there, Joker? Any other thoughts?
I'm hearing what you guys are saying. Yes, and maybe I'm just a little too critical, because I liked the dynamic with Gwendolyn and Jenna so much that I just really was like, ugh. I just felt ugh. But you are correct that his part of bringing in Casper Van and Dean, I'm like, oh, hi Casper, how are you doing? As Gideon, and that's Bianca's stepdad, and the morning song, whatever the group was, part of it, as this money laundering front type of thing, and that's all this was for, was a get rich scheme. So it brought it all in, and like you said, it brought in Ajax to do something in this series, or else he would have just kind of been there.
So there was a moment, I don't have a great still for it other than this one, and it was just it's so this happened, and there's a scene with Uncle Fester and getting in the asylum, and the parrot's talking smack and whatever, and the parrot throws out this number, which obviously I think the parrot's voice might have been Tim Burton, by the way. Just look that up, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
And the number is the combination of a code, in the show, and I thought to myself, so I was rewatching the scenes. This is one of those, quote, missed opportunities for me, and I'm gonna get to something, I promise. Where he punches in the code, it's like, how do you know the code? And it's like, a trash talking parrot. And I'm like, see, you literally, that's not Fester. Fester's crazier than that. He's like, a little birdie told me so. He would be more off the chain. So I wanted your thoughts on Fester. Now we had a whole season of it. I like the fact of how he shows up at the end. I'm good for a road trip, but I feel like there's still not enough the creepy, kooky, zany Addams family. Like we just don't like. There's so many conversations about fear of death. Oh, my premonition is that Adam's going to die. And she doesn't crack a joke. She's like serious. Like, yeah, someone might die. I'm like, no, you guys would crack a joke. Like, to you, death doesn't matter. To you, death's like a gag. Like, the show is wanting to be Harry Potter serious at some of the wrong times with Morticia and Gomez in particular. And I feel like that it's still, all the jokes about death and murder to these characters wouldn't be serious. Like, I don't get it. Like, don't tease me that way. You know what I mean? That's what I was expecting Morticia to say. Like, yeah, don't tease me like that. You know, this is not a time. I was expecting Morticia. I was expecting Morticia to say, like, seriously, Wednesday, this is not a time for jokes. We don't have time for this. You know what I mean? Instead, it was like, yeah, like the serious.
God, that would have been. Yeah, that would have been glorious.
So,
yeah,
I feel like I'm nitpicking in maybe some ways, but I feel like that's what it's not. They're missing the moments to have who the Addams family really are, but they do it right sometimes. And you were talking about this last time, Tay, where you're talking about sometimes Lurch is okay, and then sometimes he's just he doesn't even have a gag moment. He's just there and didn't have a gag. He's like, he has to have a gag. There's no point of having this giant lumbering Frankenstein character if you're not going to make a gag, even if it's just a physical gag. But I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on some of like the missed opportunities with the humor and the I don't know. Tell me what you guys think.
Taylor,
go first.
I have a lot of mixed feelings. I'm not going to tread on it anymore. We've already discussed my opinion on Grandmama. So moving on to another Addams. I have mixed feelings about Fester. I think aspects of him being in the insane asylum were amazing. The electric chair scene, fantastic. Like, can I ask for a round 2? I loved that. I was like, yes, thank you. And then you have things like, even though he's kooky, he's supposed to be this amazing, I don't like, they even mentioned it, he only gets caught when he wants to. So certain things that happened, I was like, he would have caught that. Like, he would have paid attention. He would have done it in a weird way. But like them leaving doors open behind them when they're going down to this like secret laboratory, like all this kind of stuff, I feel like he would have like awkwardly closed it, maybe like peeked out and like slow. I don't know. He's like a weird mix between the kooky and the intelligence. And I don't feel like we got a whole lot of that. We discussed a little bit about our opinion on Pugsley. I had mixed feelings about Pugsley in season 2. He came out of nowhere in this weird grown form. I'm an outcast. I can't fit in. Of course you're an outcast. You're an Addams. The Addams are like the outcasts of the outcasts. Like, that's expected here. And they had little things like the sayings with the bugs, asking if they were like snacks, like things like that made sense to me. And I really did enjoy his I'm going to make friends with a zombie kind of side of it, because it was almost like, okay, well, I'll figure this out. He's a pet. Like, everyone's got pets. Like, that's fine. But I didn't. I feel like he should have been more of the prankster. I don't feel like they sort of hint at it with the fireworks and stuff, but not to the Pugsley that we know and love. Like, he would have caused a lot more mass chaos at Nevermore. I feel like he would have done all sorts of stuff, and he just wasn't doing enough to where I got that classification of the Pugsley that we know. Morticia and Gomez are kind of back and forth for me.
No, I got to stop you because we're getting too many characters at once. So thoughts on Fester first, Joker?
Fester was fine. He was there. Like I said, the times when he's in the asylum, I'm thinking that this is how like Joker or Harley would be acting in Arkham. Oh, electroshock. Oh, please sign me up. Let's go for round 2. Let's. It's a shiatsu massage for your brain. This was a little unnecessary, but you know, Fester is.
I laughed. I actually thought it was funny because
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because he's supposed to be like a ladies' man too, and he's like, yeah, even she's
right.
Yeah, so I get that. I got that. I laughed at that. So,
but like Taylor said, you know, the obvious missed humor. I mean, I go back to the Addams Family and Addams Family Value films, where you're expecting that line, you're expecting that joke to come out, and it's like, oh, okay. Okay. So Fester was fine for what he is, and again, like you guys said at the end, I'm always up for a road trip. I'm like, okay, cool. So we're gonna get Fester and Wednesday, two of the best minds in the family, on the road together. Who knows what they're gonna? Who knows what trouble they're gonna start?
All right.
I've always said Lurch, that they have never gotten Lurch right ever since the Addams Family series. He's just been reduced to noise. So,
and I was very critical of Pugsley in the first video that I did with Tay, and I will say that they kind of got Pugsley. They grew on me because they gave Pugsley a purpose, right? So he is sort of like Gomez Jr., and they tied in the electrical thing with the parallel to his dad, and obviously the powers were taken from his dad. So I'm like, okay, and then they kind of like set it up at the end where the B kid, who was completely ignored this season, doesn't even have 5 minutes of probably screen time, was like, okay, I'll be your friend now, stuff with some good gags
maybe,
and stuff.
if that.
So it like, I think everybody's saying the same thing. It's all very serviceable. And then we can now kind of get into the Morticia. Joker's already talked about Morticia a little bit, so I'll let Taylor talk about that too before we get to Gomez. So
my question is this, though. I have a question. Isn't it been established that Pugsley's the older sibling than Wednesday?
No, I don't think so.
Because in the series, he's younger.
I think he's supposed to be younger.
Yeah, he's supposed to be younger.
That's
why he's starting
films,
later.
He's right. But in the films, he's older. In the Addams Family original series, he's older.
True.
So now for this, he's younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. I know in some of the other shows or cartoons they've done, he's supposed to be younger. I don't remember the strip if he's supposed to be. Anyway, that's a good point.
Yeah.
What else can we say about Morticia real quick? I'm kind of with you guys. There's these, you know what? It's just she's too. They don't know what to do. She's too serious. Like her being a romance novelist was so cringy bad. That was terrible. That was terrible. Unless there was some sort of like hidden message that she should have turned into a gag. You know what I mean? Like there should have been something there, and it just wasn't there. She has these moments where she's taking everything serious, and I'm like, that would be a joke. They're morbid, they're creepy, they're kooky, they're weird. They're the outcast of the outcast, and she is just not written that way. Now, it's easy to pile on Kathleen Zeta-Jones for that. And I just kind of have to go back to the script and the writing first, because I feel like it starts there too. I don't feel like they're even given an opportunity to be that. I don't know who in their right mind keeps writing Gomez as this gag. Like everything is not done right. Like I cannot get into the Gomez part. He at least had a saving grace to the grandmama thing, and oh, by the way, he's really an outcast, and they're trying to, the prejudices of all that and whatever. Fine. He's still not Gomez though, and it's like a character that doesn't fit is how he feels. Like the show is so much about Wednesday and all this other stuff that they don't know what to do to get Gomez fit into it all. And I think that's how I felt. So I don't know. What do you guys think about some of the Gomez stuff?
Gomez. Sorry, Taylor, go for it.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I have to sit on this one a little bit because I have mixed feelings.
All right, I'll go then. John Astin and Raul Julia embodied Gomez. They were Gomez. Raul had that certain flair about him, a suaveness to him, a style, a swagger to him. No, it's not there. It's just not there. And John Astin had, with his wide eyes, kind of this intensity to the character. It wasn't there. So Gomez is a miss in my book. as far as the casting goes, he looks more like the original comic strip, obviously.
Yep.
And then my thoughts on the Morticia, Catherine are well documented, so I'll just leave it at that.
That's fair. That's all fair. So, what say you, Tay? Did they save Gomez for you? At least make it a little bit better or not?
I guess, kind of going back to like what you said, they touch on a little bit more as to why he's just the way he is. They circled back around to the powers and referencing that. I think the biggest thing for me is that a similar issue that I had with the Pugsley circumstance, I have it with Gomez. Like, I feel like they're not giving us the Gomez that we're supposed to have. Understanding the casting because of their wanting to go to that original look of Gomez, but you still have to give us that personality. He's over the top romantic with his wife. Like, in the original films, they always joke about how them being inappropriately affectionate all the time. Like, it's one of those things that makes them the way that they are. And I don't feel like it makes, like, we get to the scene in the clock tower where he tells the girls to go up without him. I'm like, I don't like, Gomez is a sword fighter. Like, he's protective. He wants to stand for his family. This is his friend. Why isn't he taking action? Like, there was a lot of issues I had.
Yeah, he would have embarrassed them by going so headstrong. The best scene for me to embody this was the flashback scene where they're digging the grave and they're going to bury the body. They should have turned that into romantic foreplay. Like, I have no idea why that is not them going, oh, goodness, in this moonlight, you shovel in the snow. Oh, and then she says something French and he has to drop the shovel and go over. And, and then she's awkwardly like distracted when she's telling the story. Like, she's like reminiscing in the moment, like getting hot about it. Like, that was one of our hottest moments. You know what I mean? Like, that's the Addams Family humor that is missing. And then with Gomez, it should be the wide-eyed, I need a cigar at the inappropriate time, and then, oh my God, she said French, and then just start kissing on her and loving on her. And in fact, the show went out of its way to have she goes off to talk to Wednesday and then come back and not be in the mood. And instead, she should have come back and said, he comes in the room and she's like, I had a fight with Wednesday. She's even more excited now. Everything is opposite with them. Like, it shouldn't be like normal relationship-y stuff. They totally miss that piece of it. Like, I guess that's not PC for the time, but that's what would have worked.
Right. And as you said, in the last fight where Gomez, is kept behind, oh no, Gomez would have gone sword, leading the way, on guard, and taking this as like a challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to challenge me?
He would have been Robin Hood. He would have had a costume change or something. I know that sounds almost impossible.
Yes.
He would have almost like, where did my father go? I don't know. Then he swings through the window dressed like a Addams Family version of Robin Hood with a sword,
on guard,
ready to avenge the situation last time because Morticia saved the day. And, oh no, I will save the day this time. And it's like, I don't understand why this got through the way it did. It was very strange.
In a way, the Addams Family man kind of got cucked a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. They did in season 1 too, by the way. Same thing.
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The season 1, I tried to like give it like a little bit of back burner because the focus was, this is Wednesday. We're not here, the Addams Family. This is Wednesday. So it made sense to me. But if you're going to bring the parents on campus, it needs to be done right. Like, my favorite part of the parents was Morticia changing the house. That was my favorite part. Morticia changing the house to make it more Addams. Her walking in when she sees the pink, which I love that it's a reference to the original series. Like, there's a lot of stuff that was just done to like sprinkle in references from the original shows and movies. And her expression to the pink, her changing it to make it hers. Like, I like explaining where the heads came from, that they were in the family. Like, that's all Addams. That's how it should have been. But we don't get enough of that across the board. And it's like personality changes, and it didn't make sense to me. So
these are the moments, too. I wish I could be a script writer for these people. Joker, you and I talk about this stuff for years. And I'm like, so I know they have their silly little Steve Buscemi type things or whatever. we would never have had this generic bonfire nonsense.
No.
We would have had a competitive team sport of Wake the Dead.
Yes.
It would have been a competitive team sport of Wake the Dead. And it would have been like, you know, the Quidditch version of Wake the Dead. And it would have been taken like, you know, they're in uniform, and it's like, you know, representing this
house colors and the whole.
Yeah, it would be like
Yeah,
it would have been the wolves versus the
sirens.
100%.
Versus the stoners.
Yeah, exactly. And so the show does so much right, and I will say it ends with an amazing setup. I have to be honest, because they give you a great line earlier about, you know, Enid says to Wednesday, you know, "You are my pack," or whatever. "You'll come find me," and she's like, "Oh no worries. I will always be able to hunt you down," or something. And that's kind of how it leaves. And then with her and Fester, like you said, Joker, it just so. All in all, give your final thoughts on the second half and the show. And, you know, I'm interested to see what you guys think.
Taylor, go for it.
I'm like on the cusp of like, I want to go higher than I did with part 1 because a lot of stuff circled back around for me. Part 1 really was a struggle because there were so many things that just didn't make sense, and we were all like, where is this going, because of the way that it was released. It circled back around. I really loved the concept of Isaac Knight, and I feel like that for me saved this season, alongside just the amazing performances done for Wednesday and Enid and their friendship, and how it just grew into what it needed to be for promoting the next season. So I'm like at like a 3.5, sometimes a 4, depending on which episode we're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm having I'm like in between 3 and 4, so I'm going to say a 3.5.
All right. The other criticism I just want to throw out real quick, because I didn't talk about it, and it is offensive to some of you out there, so I'm really sorry. I am so over the overweight black POC body positivity police officer stereotype. Like, we're in a new world where suddenly this is the thing we do, is the sheriff will now be played by this overweight, incompetent black female cop. Like, what on earth are we? She doesn't do anything. She's not even like, please stop already with these stupid new Hollywood stereotypes. They're dumb, and they're not delivering on what you think they are. It was a crime to this poor actress to take a role that was just this, because she was really good at it. That's the problem. She was actually really good in these scenes and stuff. And there's a great line when the crazy lady is trying to confront her or whatever about no normal girl or whatever can break in there. It's like, well, there's nothing normal about Wednesday or what. Yeah. So she was really good. It's just a total miscast, and it's done on purpose with this new Hollywood stereotype thing they're doing, and it was just dumb and distracting. Sorry, I had to throw that in to rant about the absurdity of that, because there's like, oh, please stop already. But anyway, Joker, break this show down. What do you think?
Okay, season 1, if we're going on a scale of 10, as Pops and I said, there's nothing wrong with a 6 or a 7. Season 1, I'm around an 8. I really loved it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. The growing of the actual friendship between Enid and the Wednesday, and as you said toward the end, you know, "You're my pack. I can always track you down. That's not a problem." When Enid risks becoming a wolf forever because it'll save the Wednesday.
Yep.
And Wednesday's like, I'm not going to let her be out there alone like this. I need to go find my friend. And I'm like, that is just the core of the entire series. I got a little misty-eyed a little bit.
Yeah.
So is season 2 on the same level as season 1? No, but it's pretty darn close. At a 10, it's about a 7. About a 7. So I am looking forward to a third season, because I love this dynamic of Enid, Wednesday, and now Agnes being thrown into the mix, and this little group of friends that what they become.
Oh, I'm so glad we didn't really talk about Agnes enough. The only thing that would have made the ending better when they wrote off was that Agnes was somehow with the motorcycle too. I don't even know how that would have worked.
Yeah,
she popped up.
she snuck away from the dad leaving or whatever, and somehow I know because things on the back, I think things should have just climbed up on top of her shoulder, and then they drive away, and she's suddenly attached in the back somehow or what. I just think that would have been so. I did not expect us to all basically land around the same spot. I'm really surprised by this. I was going to go 3.5 out of 5, a 4 for season 1. It starts off with a lot of loose ends, but I got to be honest, they really picked those up, and I think that if they could just get Morticia and Gomez more creepy, kooky, funny at the right time. There are so many moments. I feel like this is my role. I need, like, Tarantino has been brought in to put these kind of dialogue moments and these things in so many scripts. Like we heard that this was a story about like Crimson Tide. If you watch Crimson Tide, the story is punched up a lot by someone like Tarantino who just comes in completely uncredited. And I feel like that's my job. My job is to take this season 2 and go, all right, listen, can we just have Fester say this instead? Can we just have Gomez and Morticia do this instead? And we can make this a 4 out of 5, if not a 4.5 out of 5, because they drag it down because there's so much more in this. Because I said in season 1, the only episode is a filler episode is their episode. They just do not matter in season 1. It was silly to even have them show up for that filler episode. But yeah, I'm going to lean into the 3.5 out of 5. It's 7 out of 10. Might be a 7.5 because it does pick things up really well. The rewatch was really good. So when I rewatch it with the misses from start to finish, I'll be interested to see if I can move to the 7.5. That'd be my only other take on it. But yeah, I'm very solid on this. It is probably still the most rewatchable show right now. I think that Mobland is by far a better show. Mobland is freaking maybe the best show of the year. I think there are shows that are really, really good, but this show is so much fun at times, and you have a good time. Even there's like just silly, weird little things. It's got the heart that kind of comes there, and I was surprised by that. I was really surprised at how well they delivered on some friendship and family elements there in the latter half of the season. It really did pump it up for me for sure. So, all right. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Joker, plug a little bit about what you do on your channel and where people can catch you.
Well, I do weekly content about every other day, talking about the world of professional wrestling. It's just storytelling through a different medium. I do a show every Wednesday with friends of the channel, Left Eye Ego, Matt the Unbearable 753, Duke Devil 995, called Wednesday Night is Overbooked, which is surprisingly on Wednesday night, and because we're overbooked for that. You can catch me Thursday with Roman of the Empire 5 Pacific over on his channel, and then this Thursday right after that, for the recording's sake, after this week's Thursday with Roman of the Empire, I will be on with R2 the Icky, as he is relaunching after the weekend, more of an interview format, and I will be his first interview.
Well, awesome. We will try to, I'll make a note of that, try to get those links in the description for anything I might have missed. So I'm trying to make some loose end comments and that kind of thing. So, well, Tay, thanks for coming back with me again. Awesome to have you with me. And I'm hoping, listen, folks, I already heard one person's going to ask her to be on a show or something. So, you never know. She's got her own take and stuff. She's smart, clever, and I couldn't be prouder. I'm a proud pops. I'm proud Bob. Get to hang out with me. So, yeah, folks, listen, I hope your Friday's gone well. Hope your week's gone well. Hope you enjoy Wednesday for yourself. You guys leave in the comments. Let us know what you guys think out there. We can't thank you enough for watching. Be blessed. Talk hard. Until next time, I am Pops.
Toodles.
Bye.
They're just like any other family. Loving parents.
Last night, you were like some desperate, howling demon. You frightened me. Do it again.
Playful children.
Where's your costume? I'm a homicidal maniac. They look just like everyone else.
An uncle. Look, a new chapter.
Scabs.
Visiting relatives. It's old man! And a thing.
You're a handful.
The Addams Family. Rated PG-13. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
We hope